In the beginning of the video, I would like to give a huge props to Liara Alice, a guy who actually taught me the way how to create these license plates. He made a Hessen, Germany license plate, and the link is in the description of the video. Big props to him, and thank you again for learning me how to do it. And let's move on to the tutorial. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to mod a license plate, as you can see here. This tutorial will be quite difficult, so be careful and watch out. So, I will show it on the check plates, which I already released on Workshop, but I will show you how to do it step by step. So the first off, we will start with new plugin. As usual, new plugin, content only, and name it somehow for us. It's not the final name on Workshop, so it doesn't really matter how you name it out. So I'll name it Check Plates Tutorial. You don't have to fill out the description yet. It doesn't really matter. So let's create a plugin and close this. Now we are in the plugin folder. The first thing we want to do is create a mod info. That's basically the same thing as always. Right click, miscellaneous, data asset, mod info, select, and name it mod info. It's case sensitive, so be careful to name it like this. The second thing we need to do is create a new blueprint class. So we will right click, select blueprints and blueprint class. The next important thing is to select the parent class. So we will type in license plate widget base, and the parent class is license plate widget base underscore BP as a blueprint. You double click it, select, and name this however you want. So I will name it check plates tutorial, so it doesn't interfere with my old files. Okay, so here we have it. The next thing you want to do is actually create the license plate in like Photoshop or something like that. I downloaded my license plate off internet because on Wikipedia you can find the check plate as it should look like. So I have the base plate here, and then I have those two stickers that are needed on the plate. In fact, this sticker is no longer used in check plates, but whatever. And this is how it should look like in real life after it's done. Okay, so in order to keep it clean, I'll create a new folder named textures. You can name it however you want. It's just to be clear and to not make a mess. And you can name it however you want. I will rename it because I don't want to interfere with older mod. So just simply drag it down and copy it in. It will create a new texture. I'll just rename them all really quick and drag them in. Come on, work. Sometimes the Unreal Engine is slower because you are actually all topped out, so it takes some time to do stuff. Okay, so now we have 3 textures. The next thing, because the basic font of Unreal is different, I'll create a new folder named font. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be in the new folder, it's better. It asks you if you want to create a new font asset. You click yes, and now you have a new font asset and this font as well. So let's head back in and let's do the hard work. So you double click on the blueprint itself. It opens this. It has 2 parts to it, designer and graph. we need to design the plate first, and then we will create the graph, as it's needed to work with the text boxes we create earlier in the designer. So, I'll just make it full screen, and let's start. The first thing you want to put in is the size box. You just simply drag it in, no matter what, it's there. You don't have to set up anything to the size box yet, as it will change accordingly to everything that's needed in. It's good to compile through the process of making it, because it will just do the changes you created. Next thing we want to do is put the canvas panel and put it under the size box. So it means you'll drag it into the size box and it does it under that. Here we don't want to set anything else, so just keep it like this. Maybe the alignment is good to be centered. Alright, next thing is the plate frame image. And how to do it is just simply put image and put it into the canvas panel. You can see it created a blank image at the moment. You want to set up the size. I'll just do it 520 and 110 at the moment. And you want to set up a brush. So you just open it and here click to open a texture. So you just click here. I don't want to save asset, I just want to search and look for the check plate for the tutorial. So that's here, tutorial base plate. And as you can see, it just rendered as it should look like and everything is there. So that's how we set up the base plate. That's just the beginning. The harder part starts now. So I'll just compile it so everything is okay. And it's good to rename the image to be like plate frame or whatever. It's good to be renamed because there will be lots of images. Like here we have three images in total, and then lots of text boxes. So yeah, the next thing you want to do is put on horizontal box. And you want to put it into the canvas panel, or just like under this. So if you close the canvas panel, everything will collapse inside. But do not put it into the image. Next thing you want to do is just drag it to the size as it's needed. So let's just create it like this. And compile it again. Now, to start things off, we'll put in spacer. Oh, actually, I messed up a little bit. So the horizontal box is the white place on the license plate, so it doesn't interfere with this. So as it's just dragging around, it's easy. So as I said earlier, the next thing is spacer. Put it into the horizontal box. At the moment it doesn't do anything, but we'll change that later. After spacer, we place in text box. Be careful, it cannot be editable. So just drag the normal text box and put it under a spacer. So that's our first text box on the plate. How to work with that? Well, simply put in the text. Here I will put like 5 inside. It's pretty small. So you'll change the size to like 65 or 70 or something like that. And the font doesn't look like as it should. Here I have downloaded the font. And how to set it up, we already imported it into the Unreal. So next thing is click on the font material and look for the name of the font, which is in our case DIN 1451 Alt. Oh, actually not the font material, I'm sorry. Click. Okay, so how to set up the font? just simply click on the font family and choose the according font. Here I have the DIN 1451, and now the font has changed as it should. Okay, so that's our first number on the plate. The next thing, because we have 3 letters in front, as you can see here, we'll add another 2 text boxes because they're different every time. The next text will be like A, and the third will be like 6, whatever. Doesn't really matter. The same process every time. Set up the size and set up the font family. And that's how we created the first part. Next thing is to put another spacer behind it. So we have another spacer after this. The next thing we want to do is put another scale box inside. I'm speaking another, but we haven't actually done it. So the scale box needs to be in the horizontal box, as everything else needs to be here. In the scale box itself, you will not set up anything, as it's just correct as it should. So let's move on. The next thing is to compile it, of course, and put on vertical box. That's where we put our stickers. The vertical box needs to be inside the scale box. So when we collapse it, it will hide. In the vertical box, we'll put the 2 seals we have here. These 2 pictures. It could be done via 1 picture, but for better realism, it's better to have 2 separate stickers. I'll just compile it. And how to import it, just type in picture, or oh, actually it's not picture, it's image. And just simply put in the image into the vertical box, then put in spacer, and then another image. So we have 2 images. It's good to rename it. So the top one in check plate is the technician control. So I'll rename it to technique. And the second one is emission. I don't know if it's spelled correctly, but whatever. Click on the picture and click on the image. And here, find the image you want and just simply click. The second one is in the emission. So the same thing. As you can see, it's scaled correctly by itself. No more work needed there. So that's our vertical box. We can collapse it now because there is no more work done in there. After a vertical box, we just compile it and add another spacer after that. So put it under, so it's a good thing to put it into the scale box itself. But it needs to be under the vertical box, so it doesn't interfere with it. It needs to be on the same level as the scale box. So just simply put it into the horizontal box and it will jump down as it should. And the last thing on check plate is another text box with four numbers. So just put a text box, put 4 numbers in it, doesn't matter which one. Put the size, change the font, and it's good to add another spacer after that. So, compile it, and as you can see, there is a lot of wasted space, and I think it's not centered as well. That's why we add spacer to like everywhere. The thing you want to change with the spacer is not, you just click on a spacer. Here you can size. Here you can see size. it's set up on auto, but we'll click fill. And as you click fill on every spacer we've put in, except this one, this doesn't really do anything in the vertical box, but it's okay. It will start to create correct amount and it's centered as it should. I would like to have this closer, but at the moment I don't know the workaround for it. So as you can see, here we have the check number plate. So that's nice that we designed it, but it will not show up in the game. So what to do now? Now begins the most tedious part of the license plate. Be careful, this will be really hard to focus and to create. Delete everything you have in here. Just delete it. We don't need it anymore. So, the first thing we want to do is add event init text boxes. So just right click and type it in. This is the event that will initialize the text boxes. The next thing we want to do is drag out these variables and with the get part of it. So now we have the 4 text boxes we have on the license plate. We'll put it under each other to look good. It can look like a mess, but it won't change the functionality. It will work. But it's better to be organized everywhere. Next thing we want to do is make array. Add few pins, because we have 4 text boxes, and just simply drag line from each text box to the array. Next thing, set text boxes. It's the last one in the default set text boxes. Click on it, connect the array, and connect these lines between the event and the set. So that's the first part. That was kinda easy. And now it starts. So here we need to put bind event on text change it. So bind event, turn off the context sensitive because it sometimes just doesn't work. You have to be like case sensitive and that's too much. So just simply put it in. Connect the set, select the target, so we will do it with the first text box, just put it in again, connect to the target. Now we have to create a custom event on text changed, so we just do a custom event. If you compile it now, it will show error, which is correct. Okay, now the harder part. We need to create a custom event. So right click, custom event, add custom event. Now we need to name it somehow. I like to call it onTextChange_event because it's the same name as here to bind the event. So onTextChanged_event 0 because it's the text box 0. The next thing, we need to add another input to it. So click on it, click here on input new parameter, type in text and choose text and click on pass by referrer, and now you can connect it. If you don't do that correctly, it will not connect and you'll see it doesn't work. So be careful on that. The next thing is to add trim text. So call function trim text. connect these two together and connect the text box to the text box. Here we can set up how many characters must be there. So as the first text box is this number, the first one, it's just only one character, and you can only put numbers in it. So we will delete all the letters. So that's it. That's how we set up the trim text. And now the tedious part, do it again and again and again. For every text box we have here, we need to create this mess, these 4 events or stuff in the blueprint again. So the easiest part to do it is just to copy everything, because you don't have to create a custom event every time. Only thing you need to do is rename it every time to not be confused in the Unreal Engine itself. You can also copy this. And how to connect everything together? Well, from here, continue to here, and the same process as it was before, just simply copy the things you did before, it will work. The second one in here is another one character, and in Czech Republic it's just letters, but it depends on county where you live. So I'll just open Wikipedia here. And here I will put on what's the valid character. So A, B, C, E, H, J, K, L, M, P, S, T, U, Z. So we set up the valid characters, and you won't be able to select any different character in the game itself. So you prevent using like D, which doesn't exist in Czech Republic, on the second place. So we just do the same thing again. You don't care about the error, it just created itself by compiling. But if we set up everything, the error will disappear after we finish it. So now just rename it again. Name it like 2, put in trim text, and just connect it again. You don't have to connect the trim text to anything. We don't need to do anything else with it. So just do this. It's one character, and on the third position in Czech Republic can be any number or any letter except G, O, Q, and W. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A, B, C, D, E, F. G would be there, but we don't use it, so skip. And continue like this. And that's how we set up the valid characters again. And the last is the 4 numbers. So we just copy the bind event again, the custom event, we just rename it for the last time. Copy the editable text box 3 and the trim text. Connect everything together. I like to keep it clean so it's not a mess. I know it could be even cleaner, but who cares? Here, because we need to put 4 numbers, max character count will be 4, and it will be only numbers, and that's it. So it wouldn't work like this. The next thing is to finish it up with validate license plate text. So just right click, call the function, put it like this, connect the top one, and that's it. We created a custom blueprint for the license plate. If you click compile now, it might show some warnings because this isn't connected to anywhere else. It just ends there. But we don't have to care about it. It's okay. Everything's cool. It will just work. So now you have to save it and close the blueprint editor. The last thing we want to do is set up the mod info. So double click on that. Name the mod somehow. You can put in preview picture as always, do the description, but the most important part is to add content. So in the content you need to go to bus license plate, add element, put in some ID, it needs to be there and it needs to be unique. And click on the none and choose the check plates tutorial as the blueprint. Save it, cook the mod, which doesn't work again. So that means I need to relaunch my Unreal Engine. So I just do it. I just double click and wait for the launcher for the Unreal to launch. Then we can cook the mod, copy it to the game and test it out how it works. If you want to upload it to the workshop, I recommend watching my video on how to upload to workshop. It's pretty complicated. You need to download Steam CMD, set it up, and then work out. So the Unreal Engine launched. We just click on the mod info, cook the mod. It might show some warnings, but as they are not critical errors, we don't have to care about it. And once it cooks, we just copy it to the game. Tutorial how to set up the Unreal Engine itself is in my first video, how to create a decal. There is where I set up the config for the Unreal Engine, for the cooking and copying to the game. You can see 171 warnings, whatever. Press any key to continue and copy to the game folder. And that's it. Now all we have to do is test it in the game. So I'll just launch the Bus Simulator 18 and see how it all works. So, for mod testing, I recommend using a separate save. Click on mods, find the mod as it should be there. So check license plate tutorial. I'll disable the workshop one, close the modding option, and load the company.
Okay, I've written down a number of things.
We open the bus garage, click on customize license plate, and here you can find it. It doesn't show up the picture and it doesn't show up the name. So that means we did something wrong. Now we close the game and see what we messed up. So the first thing we need to do is to set up a nation of the license plate. That's actually really important. That's one thing we forget to do. So we will do it now and see if it changes. I'll close the Steam VR because I don't need it at the moment. So yeah, double click on the widget, on the blueprint. As you can see, we didn't save the brush properly. So yeah, that's the reason why there is no brush. So search asset. Oh, so it looks like our textures disappeared from here, which is weird. But that's because we haven't saved the Unreal Engine. So save it every time you close. So for the purpose, I will just copy the images from my previous one, from the workshop one. But this is just a little short thing, and you can see it in real life that it's needed to save everything, as otherwise you will lose it. The good thing is I can just redo it like this, compile, everything is okay. And now, how to set up everything as it should be to even see the nation in game. So click on Graph again, click on Class Defaults, it will open up here, and put on the nation. Czech Republic, and if you want to create like regex of offensive words, you can put in offensive words, and it will block them in the game. So now save it, compile it, cook the mod, copy it to the game folder, and see if it actually worked out. And as I can already imagine, it will be much better than last time, because we haven't closed the Unreal Engine. And you can see we had less warnings, which is better. Now we launch the game again and see how it worked out. I'll not cut the fail out. You could see that. That's because I want you to learn to save everything. I don't want to see messages about this disappeared and this disappeared because I didn't save it. That already happened to Best of Us. So yeah, be careful about it and save everything. So the game is launching now. As you can see the icon here. So I'll just put it aside and wait for the game to load. So again, enable the mod. It should be enabled from our last time. It's here. Close the modding options, load the company, and wait for it to load.
Okay, I've written down a number.
Open up the garage, customize license plate. And here we have Czech Republic license plate. We can edit it. And here we go. It's on the bus. So I hope you like this complicated tutorial. It is a bit longer than the other ones, because the thing is that as you have to create a custom class, it just takes longer to create. I hope you didn't get lost, and I hope it worked out for you as well. And see you around in the next tutorial. Until then, have fun cruising and modding, and bye bye.